Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning. Our topic for today is ethical decision making. We will be referring to the textbook on in chapter 6 of the textbook. The learning objectives of this topic is that you should be able to provide a comprehensive model for ethical decision making in business, examine ethical issue intensity as an important element in the ethical decision making process, introduce individual factors that influence business ethical decision making, introduce organizational factors that influence business ethical decision making, explore the role of opportunity in ethical decision making in business, understand normative considerations in ethical decision making, recognize the role of institutions in normative decision making, and examine the importance of morals and values to ethical decision making. Okay, first of all, we will look at a framework for ethical decision making in business. Okay, so this framework that tries to understand how organizations perform their decision making. What are the things that influence the way organizations make decisions regarding ethical issues or um, dilemmas. Okay, so it is a descriptive framework. It tells what uh, what are the things that cause organizations to decide in a certain way, but it is not a prescription. So it does not prescribe how organizations should make decision with regards to ethical issues, but it tells about how do they actually make decisions. What are the things that influence their decision making process? Okay, so um, looking at as from a research point of view, you have um, three main areas here. You have your at the end on the right side, you have your ethical or unethical behavior. So that is the action that the organizations make. And then you have in the middle, there's the business ethics evaluations and intentions. What are the intentions of the organization in terms of their um, when they face business ethics dilemma or issues? And then on the left, you have the factors that shape how uh, businesses make evaluations and intentions. Okay, so there are four main factors on the left side there. You have the ethical issue intensity, you have the individual factors, organizational factors, as well as opportunity. So basically, what is generally saying here is that these four things, ethical issue intensity, individual factors, organizational factors, and opportunity, all of them influence how it influence the business's intention or evaluation of of any um, ethics issue or problems issue. Yeah, so these four things influence the way uh, businesses intend to address ethical issues, and then the way they intend to do will have consequence on what they actually do. So the middle part is the intention of how they face a certain ethical issue, and then on the right side is what they actually do. Okay, so the first factor in the framework is ethical issue intensity. Okay, um, so ethical issue intensity is the relevance or importance of an event or decision in the eyes of the individual, work group, or the organization. So when an issue arises, when an ethical issue arises, how important is that issue, the event, in the eyes of the party who is making the decision, be it individual, work group, or organization. Okay, so when something happens, okay, how important is that event to the organization, um, in making decision. Okay, so the less, of course, the less intensive it is, the less intensity, indicates that to the organization that issue is not important, is less important. And if that issue is not important, then it will not have any effect, on their intention in addressing that ethical issue. However, if the ethical issue intensity is high, when they perceive that the ethical issue is important, then that it will influence how they intend to address that issue. Okay, so ethical issue intensity is an important factor in determining how organizations intend to address ethical issues. And but in order to have ethical issue intensity, they should have ethical awareness. Okay, they must be aware that an issue is cropping up, an issue is occurring. Okay, so ethical awareness is the ability to perceive whether a situation or decision has an ethical dimension. So an event happens, does that event has any ethical dimension to it? Does it have any ethical implication, or is it purely business oriented, profit oriented, or does it have any ethical implication? So that is the ability to identify that an ethical issue, there is an ethical consideration in an event, that is called ethical awareness. Um, Personal and temporal in character to accommodate values, beliefs, and needs, perceptions. So it says here that it is personal and temporal in character. Every issue will have different intensity. Okay, every issue will have different ethical issue intensity, and that particular ethical issue, in terms of its intensity, um, will be influenced by values, beliefs, needs, perception, the special characteristics of the situation, the personal pressures prevailing at the particular place and time. Um, and then there's the concept of moral intensity, which is the individual's perception of social pressure and the harm they believe their decisions will have on others. Okay, so as individuals, um, to what extent they believe that a certain event or issue will have impact, or a negative impact on others. So the more they see the importance of it, the higher the moral intensity it is.